Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And today we are continuing for our next segment of our holiday issue of the Fab Fatties. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We'll see what comes up.
Yeah, and what's so difficult is, as a Italian family, food and our table is so ingrained in our culture that like we spend a lot of time around the table and around the food, and it's weird that we do this and yet there's an expectation that like you shouldn't be indulging, like you shouldn't be enjoying, or like you should only have X amount, even though we sit at the table for hours. So I know that was a lot of word vomit.
So I think that kind of thing, it just comes from a normal expectation that one, you'll get full, which is typical. I don't know if she just doesn't have any like awareness of that fact. Like typically people sit down to eat and they get full. If you're not getting full, then there's something wrong and you need to investigate it pretty much immediately. So if you are getting full and you're continuing to go for it, then yeah, I do think that should be, looked down upon, to put quite simply. I don't think that should be seen as normal.
And not a lot of context, but I think I'm still trying to like pull through the pieces for me of like where the messaging all came from. Yeah,
gosh, your comment about Billy getting the compliments, it is weird because like it's indirect, right? It's an indirect note. Like, my cousin growing up was always called Pretty Face. And
I hate that.
she was always deemed the pretty one. Like, I don't think it did her any favors either to have her value reduced to her image, but she was sweet face, she was pretty face. My bangs were like this and I was not getting called sweet face or pretty face, you know what I mean? Like, I never grew up thinking I looked nice. And
I don't even know, like, they're really getting into the weeds of this type of stuff. I think that we're going even far beyond the scope of their podcast where they're talking about all this random stuff, that it's kind of just becoming a woe is me. My childhood is horrible, even though like they're not describing anything actually traumatic or actually like really harsh. This is just like, I don't know. I guess what I'm wondering is, how is this productive? How is this a podcast portion, right? Like, I feel like maybe you could just have a conversation with your friends and talk about the gripes of your family, but to do this on a podcast without there being any tie to the topic or anything, where it's like, well, my cousin had a pretty face and I had this. I didn't feel pretty growing up. It's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so fascinating to me how everything is lumped into weight for them. Everything. And I think that as somebody who used to be on the toxic ritualistic pretty deeply, that was something that I experienced quite a bit, where it's such a shortcut. It's a shortcut way to talk to somebody else or to connect with somebody. It's a shortcut to explain something. And it's kind of toxic to use your weight as your way of relating to others, or your way of communicating emotions or feelings or experiences. And that's what I saw all the time on this podcast back when it was active. And I'm still seeing that now. It's like, if you link everything to your weight ever, then anything that happens, could happen, would happen, will have to do with your weight, which means everything can be a reinforcement. Every single thing. So somebody being told they have a pretty face can end up somehow being related to the weight. It's not even you. I mean, think about that standard. It's an insane standard to have on any family at all. I don't know what they expected, I guess, especially as grown women deep in their 30s. You'd think that they'd have some kind of perspective, or, oh, I understand what the adults in my life were going through a bit more now that I'm in my 30s. I don't see any of that. It's very it's strange to me.
It is interesting. Just not what come to mind. It is interesting. It is interesting going into the current holidays, because last year when I saw my extended family, I was probably at like a lowest weight I had been at in a while, and now I've gained some weight back. So very curious how that will go, and if that will prompt conversations. That said, I do know that like one of my aunts is very much so like investigating her own relationship with food right now, and like fat phobia, and like, so I feel like I have an ally there I didn't have in the past.
That's
so
nice.
Also
Yeah.
curious how that will go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Allie?
Yikes. So somebody else she's like, hopefully I can be reinforced by this person that I wasn't before. I'll do the translation for you there.
Freedom of speech.
1 second.
I don't really know that I can like pinpoint one specific moment in time. There was only one like body comment that really ever stuck with me throughout my life, and I think I talked about it on a previous episode. And it wasn't around a holiday. It was during high school, where I was literally starving myself, and I had lost a bunch of weight, and I hadn't seen my grandmother in a while, and I walked into my house after school one day, and my grandma was there, and she goes, "Oh, Alex, you got so skinny. What'd you do? Learn how to shut your mouth?" Yeah. But other than that,
That's funny. It's a funny joke. I mean, it's mean, but I actually found it to be kind of funny. But I love how they're framing it as like, oh my gosh, da, da, da. But it's like, I don't know. I grew up in a family where there's a lot of teasing and stuff. And I don't know. I think it makes life more worth living. I think that having joy and laughter and humor is a part of my life that I want. And I'm really sick of people that don't like humor trying to say that nobody can have fun. I'm really tired of it. Like, I'm just going to say that. And so to me, it's like, I think it's funny. She's like, it was horrible, blah, blah. She had no idea you were doing that, though. It's like, you can't hold your grandma accountable for that if you're doing something secretly. Which, again, I can kind of understand if you're in the mind of a teenager. But it's like, you're not a teenager anymore. So can't you think back, oh, well, she had no idea I was doing that, because I was keeping it a secret. Because that's what I hear too. It's like, to me, it's just a funny joke. She's thinking that she's trying to take care of herself. Why wouldn't she? I'm sure Allie was telling everybody, I'm on this journey. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You know what I mean? It's like there's a performative aspect to BINGE as well. So when you're being overly reductive, you often say, like, I'm doing this in the best way. This is for my health. I'm trying to start a new start. Like, you say all these things. And it can be really unhealthy what you're doing, but you're not being honest about that. Typically, you're not. So it's only after that you're like, oh my gosh, I was hardly eating at all. Well, nobody knew that. Well, you don't know what other people are doing. Don't congratulate their weight. Most people don't do that. The vast majority don't. So it is insane. It's the same thing with the humor thing. Just because you don't like humor doesn't mean that other people don't. Most people like humor. Most people like jokes. Most people like teasing each other and all this stuff. It happens so often, at least it does in my family. It does in plenty of people's families. I don't have a super serious family that's like, stick up the butt energy. I just don't have that. I just don't. And I think whenever I felt like I had to stick up my butt and I was so like, oh my gosh, at every little thing, it was due to my own trauma response. And it's not fair to try to bring other people down because of something that happened to you. I don't agree with that, And I just don't agree with it. So I know that's a little bit off topic, but it's kind of like the MO of fat acceptance. It's like if somebody else is happy for their success or happy for the fact that they've lost or any of these things, they are so upset and they try to ruin it for you in the best way that they can, because there is that jealousy aspect, which is so biting within BINGE, and even sometimes outside of it, like even people that have hormonal issues or people that are just very big in general, they can be jealous as well. Sometimes people are just insecure in general and they don't necessarily have that going on. And I think it's just really caustic and horrible. And it's like, there's just too much of that in general. And I think in fat acceptance, it is just so loud. It is always like that, where it's like if somebody else is happy, well, you're going to gain it back. It's very much that kind of thing. Or you made a joke with me, but I was actually starving myself. You see? And I understand Allie is mentally ill, so that's probably part of where that's coming from. But again, I don't think that we should be basing all of society on people that are having these struggles. I just don't think that that's fair. I just don't. I don't think that that's right. And it's just horrible.
A lot of talk about being bad. Oh, I'm being so
Yes.
bad.
Well, yeah.
I'm being so bad.
That
in
kind of
just a
stuff is
second.
just very corny. It's very corny diet culture stuff.
I'm being so bad at getting dessert. I'm being so bad in doing this. And so I didn't really growing up, I didn't really understand how harmful that is until, spending.
Again, that can also be a joke, Allie. People also use that as a joke. If I were to say something like that, it would be a joke at this point. Which again, you're not a better person for not having a sense of humor. I'm just going to say it. You're not. You're not a better person for not finding something funny. You're not. You're a better person because you live in conviction and you actually do something, not because you feel something about something. That doesn't mean anything in the real world, And I'm just so tired of that attitude. Personally, I'm just really tired of it. And I see it a lot in fat acceptance, where it's like, because I don't celebrate this, I'm a better person. Because I don't celebrate this person's downsizing, I'm a better person. Because I don't make a joke about being fat, I'm a better person. You see, I'm a better person due to inaction. I'm a better person due to an emotional response. It doesn't mean anything to me. And I don't think it means anything in reality either. I just don't. You're a better person, not because of your beliefs, but because of the action behind the beliefs. Because of the conviction and the constructive action taken due to what you believe. And that has been lost, I think, in general in our culture, but it's very, very pertinent to fat acceptance. And I am really sick of that. I really am. And yeah, I guess I'll leave that thought there.
The last year and a half with my mother and hearing it and hearing it and understanding like, oh, this is why, and not entirely why, right? But like, this is a big reason why I think I'm bad when I want a second helping, when I
Yes.
want dessert, right? I think I'm inherently bad for this, right? And there was also an added level of, with my dad having, I don't know how to say this. My dad wasn't super mobile um, growing up, and it was a lot easier for him to ask for somebody else to go get his plate.
Mm.
And I felt a lot of shame in getting two plates.
Yes.
I felt a lot of shame and like having to be like, oh, this plate isn't for me. I promise that these aren't both for me. And I like looking back, it wasn't that my dad didn't deserve to have that plate, right? It's just I'm associating like I'm being bad because I have all of this food and it's not all for me. Don't worry, like,
Yeah.
but I associate all of these different things with I'm being bad. I'm being so bad, and like you said, Alyssa, like, constant talk about what diets we're doing and what, the Weight Watchers points and this and that. And I mean, I did the last time I tried to set a boundary around food talk and diet talk was the last time I talked to my sisters because
I mean, do you see how this stuff goes? I, I'm sure that there were other problems that she had with her sister, but this is where it goes. This is what happens when you have a stick up the ass syndrome. It goes to this level. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to control other people. So the more you try to do it, you just lose people. It's divisive. And this is within family. Like, this is sad over something like that. And I've dealt with this myself. Like, I have some estranged family. But honestly, it was due to them trying to control me so much that I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. And so for me, like, I don't take it lightly. I don't know if Allie does take it lightly, but I don't. I made those decisions 10 years ago, and I meant them. And it was through a lot of pain, a lot to get to that point, lifelong issues. And honey, I certainly paid the price. It was tough. In the years that followed, you have a lot less support in your life when you cut out family. There was a lot of pain in that decision. It was the right decision for me. Even to this day, I don't regret it. But it is not something I would ever do about diet talk. If somebody wants to talk about it for themselves, that's fine. It's their conversation. It's their life. I mean, I'm just saying, the standards can go to these levels, and this is very much encouraged in society at this time. Again, I just see it as a lot of avoidance, which is probably what I see due to some of my spiritual growth that I've been going through. But there's a lot of avoidance in general, and it's like you'll just pick a reason to be done with somebody. Like, it's just crazy. And I understand that she is a special case because she does have, a mental health issue, but the lack of logic or the logic behind it still stands. And I don't think that those decisions should ever be made lightly. And like I said, I don't have any regrets over it, but it was painful as hell. Very difficult. Um, and although everything has pretty much calmed down at this point, there are still ripple effects, scars, all this stuff to this day. So I think a lot of people act like they're about it, but they're not actually about it. Like, if you want to actually do this, you need to know that it's actually really painful and it lasts forever, basically. So people are too blasé about this stuff, and it's upsetting. Honestly, it's upsetting to hear her say that in that way.
I one of my sisters was doing this extremely, extremely restrictive diet, and she sent a picture in our family group chat.
Leave the
You
metal
could just
to
say
us.
that you disagree. You could just say that you disagree, but also you have to have some kind of evidence or have something to say about it or have something to show for it. If you seem just as clueless, then maybe you shouldn't talk about it because maybe it wasn't that bad. You know, it's like, it's tough. I get it. It's tough. But if you don't have your own shit together, then you don't necessarily need to be constantly telling everybody else what to do. Like I did do that with like my mom specifically. But literally just my mom. And that was it. Where I was like, you have to like, I told her to cut the damn seed oils. You know, it's like, you need to cut it. And she did mostly listen, and she did have better health outcomes from not having them anymore, or from, you know, reducing them significantly. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to get into all these details about it, but her health was better than the trajectory it was on because of that. But that's like, it takes a lot of effort and it was a lot of fighting. And if you want to go for it and do all that, like I said, once again, I don't think Allie has any staying power. She doesn't mean it. It's like, I fought with family like hell. I know what family fights are like. If you are really going to take up an issue and pick a fight, like with a parent or something about something, you got to be willing to commit to it. Because if you're not serious about it, honey, just stop. Just stop. You know, I get it. Like, and if you have toxic ritualistic family members, it might get to that point where it's a fight. You know, I've had moments like that where I've had to confront my mom during a hinge and stuff like that. And it was a huge fight. And I was like, you're not going to hide it. And she's like, no, no, and she's freaking out. And I'm like, you're not hiding it. And it can be guttural. It can be tough, you know? But it's like, sometimes it goes there with family. And it's just reality. It's life. Fights happen. People say jokes that you personally don't find funny. People do cut ties with family, but it's like I said, you don't do it for nothing or for something that doesn't matter. So I'm just saying, like, I'll put it to you this way. Choose your battles. Choose your battles wisely when it comes to family. That is my advice. I know a lot of you guys are older than me, but I'm just speaking to anybody specifically younger than me. Choose your battles with family.
Of literally, like, you know those paper ketchup cups that you get like at McDonald's or something that you fill up. She got that size ice cream and said, my husband and I are cheating tonight and sharing this ice cream. And I literally was like, hey, so I'm on a journey here, and could we leave this out of the family group chat. To be fair, I had to leave my dead dad out of the family group chat, so I thought it was a fair trade-off. Apparently it wasn't, and that was the last time I spoke to my sisters. But
So, like I said, she likely had a lot of other issues, but for her to laugh about it and be like, that's the last time, huh? For any of you guys who are, rushing to the defense of these women, which they have their diehard followers or whatever, they have people that like them. Is that the example you want to follow? You want to be laughing about cutting off a family member? I don't laugh about it. I've done it before. I've had to do it. And I don't laugh. It's not funny. Personally, it's not. But if I wanted to make a joke about it to feel better, then I would. But I'm just saying, it's like, I just don't. It's not the fact that she finds it funny, it's what she did. It's the fact that it occurred. And it's like, if she doesn't want to get into the details of it, that's fine, but don't act like it's because of the diet then. That's another thing that they do. So she's literally advocating for cutting off family over diet talk. That's what she just did. Like, I'm really glad this podcast is done. I'm glad. Because that is horrible. So for me, it's, again, I'm not the humor police. It's not the fact that she found it funny necessarily. It's the fact that she did it. And it's the fact that she's advocating for it in that way. That is sick to me. Because, again, those of us, I would think, that did have to cut out family, we wouldn't want that for other people. I don't want it for anybody. I don't. So I would never advocate to do it unless if you absolutely must, which there are going to be times where you must. And that is also a sad, unfortunate reality. And I do also stand for your right to make a joke about it if you had to do it. But if you're going to bring it to a podcast, then you need to tell the whole picture. And if you're really going to cut off family, which we've seen Tess Holiday too, if you're going to cut them off over diet culture, whatever, BS, and not only do that, but advocate for it, that does bring a lot of judgment from me. A lot.
Anyway, this is going to be a fun holiday. This will be my first Thanksgiving without any of my family. But yeah, I'm still, deciding which one of you I'm going to... Honestly, I think Alyssa's winning. They have antipasta, so...
We don't do Italian stuff on our...
Sorry, girl. We don't know. We literally do not know how to do a holiday without Italian, to the point where we actually have deemed Christmas Eve. Like, Christmas Eve, we do the entire Italian spread, so that on Christmas we can do, like, a ribeye or something different.
Love that.
So I'll be over Christmas Eve, too, then.
Yeah. No, for sure. My mom, I will say, the past couple of years, we've switched it up, but usually my mom makes the most ridiculous homemade chicken parm dinner on Christmas Eve.
My God.
Oh my God, so good. Literally, my mom is out of this world. And when we get together with my dad's side of the family, my Aunt Donna makes homemade manicotti for Christmas Day. I know, as like the appetizer for the meal. It's so crazy. My Italian family goes hard, dude.
My dad's the Italian one, and it makes a difference because he doesn't cook. He makes his mom, my Nona's, lasagna once a year.
Okay. And
it is delicious, and thank you, Dad.
We got here first.
Man. I think family traditions are fun like that. We have a lot of Christmas foods that I love to have every year, and they're really just awesome. I don't know. I think that kind of stuff is fun. I like how everybody's a little bit different. Those are fun. That's like a fun topic for sure.
Maybe for Christmas, Dad. I'm just
just throwing it out there.
Just in case you're seeing this, Mr. Agosta.
My mom used to make goulash.
Goulash?
What is goulash?
This
is the fun part of the episode. Now we talk about the food. Let's go.
It's pasta and a meat sauce, but the meat sauce has tomato soup in it, not just like
interesting.
A different. It changes the flavor with tomato soup in it.
What type of noodle? It sounds like it would be
like
one
an
of
egg spirally noodle type thing. But it's gotten too labor intensive. My parents are in their mid-70s, and they have fully so let me just say, the saddest Thanksgiving I had. Sorry, Mom, love you if you're listening. My mom outsourced our entire Thanksgiving meal to Publix one year.
Okay. She was
Okay.
burnt out.
I can't remember if this was COVID year or what.
Okay.
The entire meal came from Publix, and the entire meal came from Publix. I mean, like, you could tell this was some mass-produced food, you know?
Oh, no.
And since then, my sister married a Southern boy named Brandon who loves to cook, and
we love that.
he especially loves, like, meats and all that stuff. So last year we got a fried turkey for the first time. He fried the turkey for us.
Interesting.
It's very juicy. It's very good. It's not breaded. It's just fried in oil and stuff. So he's doing that again this year.
Okay.
And then
Hell yeah.
Jordan's coming to my family's Thanksgiving. And for those that don't know, Jordan is a black man coming to a very white family's Thanksgiving. And he's like, well, what are y'all making? You know, what are you? I'm like, a casserole. He's like, y'all have a bunch of casseroles for Thanksgiving? I was like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, we have goulash.
He's like, so we're not going to do green beans. We're going to do green bean casserole.
Yeah.
And actually, Katie is doing a pot of green beans, so he's down one casserole from what I expected there to be.
Okay.
But we're definitely having cabbage casserole, which I love.
Cabbage casserole.
Yeah, and like it sounds
Please
like
explain.
it's like cabbage cheese with like the Ritz crackers on top. I don't know what they do, but they make cabbage delicious. Okay.
Is there any meat or anything?
No,
No, it's cabbage.
it's just a vegetable casserole.
Just like, a green bean casserole doesn't have meat in it.
I hate green bean casserole.
Oh.
To be fair, I'm not a green bean casserole either.
To be fair, though, I had literally the best green beans I've ever had in my life last week. Billy made dinner.
Oh. Does he make it with like bacon and stuff
Why
in
are
it?
you looking at me and asking me that question?
You ate it.
Yeah.
No,
Did it
had,
have bacon in it?
Had to have it had garlic, maybe some shallots, but he put white balsamic in it. Oh my fucking god!
I
These
love
are the
green beans.
best green beans I've ever had in my life. I can't ever go
Don't
back.
know what's in your recipes and you don't know what's in your house. Don't ask.
It's not her
questions.
recipes.
Yeah, they're not my recipes.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I hate green bean casserole with a passion.
And then I told Jordan how I make the macaroni and cheese. And
I want to hear how you make it.
Oh no.
the one I do has egg in it, and it has like cream cheese in it and cheddar and all this stuff, and it becomes this really like thick with like globs of cheese in it.
Oh, it's like
It's baked.
glunky.
Yeah, it's glunky. It's chunky glunky.
Well, it's a white girl mac and cheese. There's cream cheese.
Yes, and he's gonna do the mac and cheese this year, and I always make my aunt-in-law's mother.
Okay. So that concludes this segment. So I guess a lot of this one, it's about advocating to split with family over diet culture issues, which is kind of, like I said, to me it's sickening, but okay. Again, I don't even know if she meant to do that, but again, I feel like they didn't have much awareness a lot of the time for what they were actually saying or what the implications of what they were saying was. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, toxicity. But anyways, I will talk to you guys next week. Have a good rest of your day, night, etc. See you later. Bye.